there. How you doing? How are you today? This is Emily Windsor Craig. And the role and function of an elder, especially someone who's retired and who is allowed and permitted to experience a measure of autonomy. Okay, I live in relative poverty. I don't have a car. I can't travel. I can't do this. I can't do that. But I can spend my time thinking about things. And that's what I do, because the older generation, for me, did that. Okay, they did that. They didn't do a lot of other things, but they did that. They thought about things and they talked about things. And that's what I got as a small child, is grandma and grandpa and their cousins and aunts and uncles sitting me down and telling me how it is. And that's the gift of time that I have to offer. Okay, time is a gift. The time you spent with your children is a gift that they give to you and you give to them. The time you spend doing what gives you pleasure is a gift. And time is the real commodity. Time is the issue. And it's the issue between slavery and versus autonomy. Okay. What you notice about people who are embroiled in and completely engrossed in the minutia and the details and the particularities of life is that they are enslaved either to habit or to the race for money. All right. Being driven. The slaves are driven. They're driven in their use of time. They don't have enough time. They get up in the morning and they get ready and they get going and they get here and they get there and then they get to work and then they work on their project and then they work on their lunch and then they work on the project and then they go home and they commute and they get home with their kids and they have to clean the house and make the dinner and, that is slavery. Okay? Can we agree? That's slavery. I did that for 45 years. Until it broke me. It broke me. I got adrenal tumors and started having heart attacks. Okay? All right. Slavery breaks you eventually. And what we all work for is the gift of time, is the gift of not having to worry about a schedule, is the gift of being able to interact with the people we love in their time, in our time, is the gift of pursuing what we always wanted to think about, or the skills we always wanted to acquire, or the knowledge we always wanted to acquire, okay, in our time. Generally, for some people, that is achieved during retirement. If you're not driven, as I'm driven in retirement to make sense of a life that has never made sense. Okay. There are at least a couple kinds of people. They're the kinds of people who fit in and do the normal things. And then there are exceptional people. And exceptional people are those who didn't have the regular upbringing. They didn't have the regular parenting. They didn't have the regular family. They didn't have the regular upbringing. And so they spent the early part of their adult lives just trying to figure things out. Like, what? Okay. And during that period, they created a lot of conflict and so on and so forth. So coming late in life, they're now focused on something. Exceptional people are focused on a mission. They're focused on a purpose. They're focused on making up for what they weren't able to do, basically. All right. So we have the people who have normal lives, and we have people who are exceptional lives and don't get the normal stuff. We have people who live entirely in slavery and believe in it. They think it's normal. They think it's right. And then we have people who have opted out of slavery. They've been competent, they've been skilled enough to opt out of slavery. How do they do that? How do they do that? Well, it's not the people who inherit large fortunes who opt out of slavery, because when you inherit a large fortune, you have a whole bunch of responsibilities that you don't know how to handle. No, that doesn't work. But the people who learn how to be autonomous are the ones who get past growing up, and they get past achieving some skills, some real skills that create resources, that create options, that create opportunities, okay? And they pursue those skills and options and opportunities until they have created a domain, a place, a function that works. It works. Okay, now I spend a lot of time on YouTube just listening to people. And the last few days, I've been listening to people who have farms in France and Germany and Belgium and Holland. These are farmers. And these farmers talk about their lives, and they talk about how they have to take care of the cattle, and they do this and they do this. But it's all on their internal time clock. They're doing it because they love doing it. Their kids are there with them because their kids love what they're doing. Their kids love them and they love their kids, and they're all just following the pace and the rhythm of their internal creativity. Okay. The people in Europe who are telling us about their farms, who are telling us about their cooking. I find cooking shows are like this. All right. They have embraced the gift of time, and they have set aside the pace, the frenetic pace, the rat race of scrambling to handle all the minutiae and all the details of being slaves. Okay. So there is not just one way to live in this system. There is more than one. Now, I've already talked about the churches that have a community of one purse. And they're the Hutterites and the Amish and the 12 tribes and the convents and the monasteries. They have a community of one purse, and they have a rhythm and a schedule and a culture that works with them internally. So at the end of the day, they can give thanks for the day because the gift of time they received in that day was fulfilled. Fulfilling the gift of time is the difference between slavery and autonomy. All right. It has nothing to do with the exact amount of cash flow. It has nothing to do with the exact community in which you belong and in which you are an accepted member. It's a matter of your realizing the possibilities for harmony. Now, this means you have to resist the possibilities for preferences, okay, habits, novelties, Okay? That means there's a lot to resist in order to receive the gift of time and autonomy. I thought that was an idea worth exploring today because yesterday I was talking about entitlement. And the people who are in slavery are lacking a sense of entitlement. And the people who live in autonomy share a sense of entitlement. So, how do we get these two groups together? Good question. I'll pursue that one tomorrow. I thought I'd share with you the gift of time. This has been Emily Craig, and it is Wednesday, the 11th of March, 2020. Thank you. Bye-bye.